Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Facebook Live every single Monday, except for Christmas, at
Hi there.
Hey, Queenie, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you, Doc? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And has it been a Monday for you?
Well, not in a negative way, but literally back to back to back to back to back. Lots of things are happening. February is going to be a huge month for a lot of us who are networking. So I'm super excited. What about you?
You know, my fun looks a little different. I don't have back to back to back, but I was tending to my seedlings and doing YouTube shorts and getting excited because it's warm here today. Looking at the temperature. What
I was
is
just going to say it's 46. This is awesome.
it's 48 down here.
Nice.
You know, we are in the south from you. So yeah, but just getting ready to starting to put together some videos and get the ball rolling on the gardening season.
Wow. I can't believe. I mean, doesn't it feel that you just closed everything down and
Yep,
now here we are again? Yeah.
it's crazy. It is
Uh-huh.
truly crazy.
Yeah, it
So
really feels like that. Holy moly. I bet that's exciting for you though, really.
it is. Got lots of plans for the year. I've got a course that'll be coming out here in a few months. I've got a book that's in process. I've got a podcast that's in process. Let's see what else am
So
I not.
you just sit on the sofa and relax all day, apparently.
Yes, that's and whatever bonbons are. Have we ever figured out what bonbons are?
Oh my
I'm not
gosh,
sure.
I don't know. I think there's some kind of little candy treat thing, but we probably need to get some.
I was thinking they were ice cream, but I'm
Yeah,
not
let's get some bonbons. I know.
okay. Yes, yes. So and speaking of events, today is Weather Person's Day.
Ah, what a perfect day for that.
And I knew there was something I was going to look up earlier, and now I remembered since I that came out of my mouth. Um, do you have a favorite weather person?
Brian Busby's been in my life forever just because I've been a Channel 9 girl since 100 years ago. And so he has always been around. And then he keeps adding more team members. And Katie, I forgot her name right this
Warner?
second. Yes, good job. And she's weekends usually. And so sometimes I get to watch the news on the weekends, which is awesome. And so, and most of the time, I love my Channel 9 app, by the way, because I can literally click on it. It gives me daily, hourly. It even gives me wind velocity, which is super important to me. Like if I'm going to go out and cut the grass or shovel snow or whatever it is, I want to make sure that I'm not going to blow away while I'm doing it. And so, yeah, I love Channel 9 actually for that reason. Brian and Katie are my buds.
Well, did I ever tell you we got to meet Brian several years ago, about 10 years ago?
Wow. My
Uh,
goodness.
the kids were doing a play at the high school, and he was part of it. And my son, my oldest, he and Brian were the MCs for the show.
Oh,
And
how cool is that? My goodness.
and I thought Brian was a lot taller. He was just slightly taller than me.
All right, there you go. Yeah,
You
isn't
know?
it funny? And that's why people have been noticing even on Zoom, they meet any of us in person and they go, "Wow." And so they don't know how what size anybody is because of these screens.
No, but if I were to turn on the TV, I don't turn on the TV much, but he was my weather guy.
Yeah.
I get a lot of I'm on YouTube a lot, and I follow, and I had to look him up because I couldn't think of it. It's really original. Weather on the Go on YouTube, and he's incredibly accurate down to, of course, I love the deep, gory details of anything, and he'll and he gets very detailed, but he's very, very accurate. So, since I don't watch Brian anymore much, occasionally when I turn on the TV. So happy Weather Person's Day.
Thank you, Doc.
Tomorrow is frozen yogurt and chopsticks. Do you have any comments on those two national days of?
Yogurt and chopstick. Well, for me, the frozen yogurt stuff sounds like a sugar rush, and so that probably is not going to be a daily driver, actually. And chopsticks, I would think that I would be dexterous, if that's a word, but I do not have the skill apparently to. I'd probably lose a whole lot of weight if I use chopsticks because I would never ever be able to do. I know someone who actually can pick up one little kernel of rice with chopsticks. And I look at that and I'm just going, oh my gosh, that is what I would call a meal plan times a million, because you couldn't possibly shovel if you're using those. But she can actually do one little kernel of rice with her
It's pretty
chopsticks.
cool.
So,
It's pretty
yeah.
cool. My daughter and my husband love to use chopsticks when we go out, and I'm like, I'm American, so I do forks.
Well, not only that, like I say, there's probably skill involved that I ain't got.
I
So
don't have time.
yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So Wednesday's National Day of is a fun one. It's
Okay.
National Day of Girls and Women in Sports Day. Were you in sports growing up?
I love that. Yes, as a matter of fact, I played volleyball forever and I loved it. And so that was a great fit for me. And my daughter is a sports champion in almost every sport she touched. And she got a scholarship to college, thank you, Lord, in softball. So she loved that. So the fact that she has a shoulder or a knee is pretty cool. She can still walk, praise the Lord, and she still can move her shoulders, which is awesome because she was catcher. So I think that probably caused a whole lot of body strain issues, but she loved it. And it was fun to watch, actually. Anything outside, softball's, well, except for February, March softball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time the softball is outside in the summer heat and I'm all over that. What about you? Hang on a second. You are an athlete from your college days. I know that, and even before college.
Yes, I was a tennis person,
Okay.
and I
Uh-huh.
also did softball. And my
Wow.
family was totally into sports. My dad managed my brothers in Little League. They made it to the semifinals in Illinois, and the next step was to go, to the tournament, and they lost by one game. Yeah, that's our claim to fame.
The things you remember. Yeah, the things you remember.
So I grew up around baseball, so the transfer to softball was super easy. It was easier to hit. I played third base and catcher, but I started from the time I was 5 up until I hit college. I played tennis, and I was in
Oh,
the junior
wow.
level league. I was playing with people that were 10, 15 years older than me because I had started it, like the little kids. Well, I don't ski, but I've skied a couple of times. The little kids with no poles on the ski slope, it was that kind of thing, start them young. So I started tennis and I played all the way up until college. So
Wow. Well, I think the women in sports thing is fantastic. Quite frankly, I feel that the opportunities are huge. And I also feel that many times the girls who do choose to play sports are also focused on academia as well. And a lot of times that is, great student, well-rounded, that whole drill. So yeah, I love it.
yes, it's for me, I love being outdoors too. And it was just, I'm a person that's always has to be busy, and it was perfect. Good exercise.
Yeah, I was going to say you always have to be busy. Oh my gosh.
So good morning to our I'm thinking our local gals here, but I do not
That's
see
right.
that.
One's Debbie and one's Karen. So
Is that
Karen must
Karen?
be in a
Okay.
different office or on her phone. So
Yes,
thank you
because
guys
she's
for
not showing
joining
up.
us. Yeah.
So to finish, round out the rest of the week for National Day of, Thursday is Iowa Day. They became the 29th state to join the union.
Wow.
And if it was warm, maybe we could do some kite flying because it's kite flying day. We'll run down your street there on Flum.
Oh, I was just going to say, and isn't that interesting? Because usually we think of March as windy, and people actually have flown kites in March. So that's interesting. And my dad's family is from Iowa. So that's a big deal for me. I love that.
Very cool. Friday is one of my favorite topics. Pizza Day, National Pizza Day.
Oh, you probably do homemade pizza at your house, right?
We used to. We're getting kind of lazy.
Okay.
Too much work. Believe it or not, I just said that. Too much work.
Yeah, you of all people, my goodness, you'd probably grow the pizza if that was a possibility.
If I could, if it would take away a few steps, yes. Saturday is Umbrella Day. Do you carry an umbrella in the car? And
there are 2 umbrellas at all times in my car. One is a ginormous green and white golf umbrella, and the other is a ginormous orange umbrella, because that matches my first book, and that's why I picked that color. So I have 2 ginormous umbrellas, in the back of my car. And I believe in the entire 16 years full time I have been networking, I don't know that they have ever left the back of the car.
That's funny. I have two also. I've got this short one that, push a button, it pops out. And then I have a long one, golf umbrella, and it's rainbow colored. So,
Oh, wow. Aren't you fancy?
yeah, to go with my outfit and my hat.
Absolutely. I find it interesting that neither of us has purple. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you'd think we would. I don't think they offered purple, really. I mean, very unusual.
I bet they do now, but back when I put that
I'm sure
in
we
my
could get
car.
a Doc and Queenie umbrella.
Now, wow, there's a thought.
Yeah. We'll see what Canva can do.
Yeah,
do
the rest of the story is we wouldn't take it out of the back seat of the car anyway.
Probably not. It would be kind of a waste of money. So, and then Sunday, of course, is Super Bowl Sunday. Go Chiefs. And, along with it, I laugh. Pork rind Sunday. Yeah, sorry. Peppermint patties, which that's not bad. And inventors. Do you know? I know of one inventor kind of guy. I networked with him. I don't remember what his name is. And I don't know if you know him. He's local here. But do you know of any inventors in your?
I have been in that arena before as far as all the networking. I have a really cool idea. Where should I go with that kind of thing? And so it's back to that patent pending and the trusting and the legal and all of those things are connected. So I don't personally know anyone who invented a something. And there you go. Inventing is on my bucket list. I love that. And so the rest of the story is you invent something that you need, invent a business that is lacking in your location. And the next thing you know, you will be the next Mrs. Uber. So I think the invent stuff is super cool. And you invent from a need, certainly. And sometimes it's a creative need. And you are so creative, Doc. Oh my gosh. And so do you have something that you are inventing that the world hasn't seen yet?
Well, I'm actually, well, I don't know if the world hasn't seen it yet. I'm getting ready to start building some tomato towers that are on wheels.
Of course you are. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm also going to climb on my greenhouse room well, it's not really inventing. I'm going to be working on my roof. I don't, I haven't, I guess you could say I'm inventing. I mean, I've got the podcast going. I've got the book and the course. So, yeah, it's just, I guess you could say it's inventing in a, not like we think of, the light bulb or like, but it's inventing.
Well, we're going to have to talk to Miss Higgins here because if inventing is on her bucket list and she is a creative genius, in my opinion, then I think we probably need to connect with her.
Yeah, we might have to drag her on here one of these days.
That's right. Let's talk about it. But it would be back to the patent pending, copyrights, things like that. Protect yourself, of course, legal shield, etc. And I know Karen has an account in that community. But the rest of the story is when you have something that the world, quote, needs / probably would want, that really is the next thing you know, you're on the map. And people always say things like, well, that could never happen to me, or et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, hang on a second. The person, whoever invented Apple and whoever invented Microsoft and whoever invented pavement and whoever invented tree stakes and whoever invented gutters, they started from, shall we say, nobody knew who they were. And the next thing you know, we have light bulbs and airplanes and all kinds of stuff. So I always think in terms of if you've got an idea to share, you can research it, protect yourself, of course, as far as the legal stuff. But oh my gosh, Debbie Duvall, welcome. We're super glad
Debbie. And yeah, it looks like Karen paid someone, but moving forward, yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
When you look at things, but if you can weather the storm,
Absolutely. And then of course the rest of the story is if it's something, a tangible item, it's a little hard, I guess you would say, for intellectual property, which is my books and my topics and those kind of things. So you can't really protect that. Like all of a sudden I'm going to own the word networking. Probably not. And Mr. Oshiro owns the word Kangen water. So that I'm out. And so it's a little harder to do protect yourself on intellectual property. But if you have a something that you just made and you are the only one that made that something, it's pretty cool to get it protected. But then to get it manufactured is another story. And by the time the
Oh yeah.
manufacturing process happens, there's a lot of steps.
There are totally a lot of steps. But, speaking of that, a couple of months ago, I delved into looking at creating, T-shirts and that whole deal. And also even book titles and this and that. And I had gotten a tip off of a YouTube person that said to go to the government website to see if certain titles and names and blah, blah, blah were actually copyrighted, which that took some time. But you could see where somebody had a phrase and they copyrighted it, or it was in process. And of course, that takes years. And then whoever it was, after a certain amount of time, they had a little box that said, there was interest, and now it's still up for grabs. So it was really interesting. And we have the great Tina Wyatt on with us today.
Woohoo! I love when we get to have the great Tina Wyatt on with us. We've got celebrities all over the place, Doc.
We've got our Kansas City celebrities.
I know. Seriously, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody asked me today on a different call, what's it like in Kansas City with the Super Bowl? And I said, oh my gosh, you wear red to any store, any outside anything. And everybody's like, go Chiefs, that's the coolest thing ever. We love you back, sweet girl. Thank you for that. But it really is, the Chiefs kingdom is seriously alive and well. And grocery stores are cray because of all the food that people are doing for the Super Bowl parties. And it's the city's alive. It's very fun to see.
But we might have a little issue. And it's only because it's close to what I'm going to be doing for the next week and a half.
Let's hear it.
If anybody's checked out my shorts, you can see I'm helping my girlfriend. I help my friend every year over at the flower shop.
Oh, wow.
And they might have the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, they might have the parade on Valentine's Day, which for us in Orlando, it's not as bad because we don't do a lot of Kansas City deliveries. But for the people down by the plaza and all of that, it's beyond a headache. It's a headache that day to start with. But yeah, they were talking about kicking around doing the Super Bowl parade on Wednesday.
Let's think about this for a second. If you are lucky enough to be the recipient of said delivered flowers and you're at the parade, how is that going to work?
Right.
Because I'm here to tell you from the Royals parade that I was actually able to go
to. Oh my
gosh. It was not just a, be gone for an hour and a half kind of thing. This was a literally 7 a.m. to probably 7 p.m. as I recall. It was an intense day of being gone. And so,
people got stuck and couldn't get out. You're like stuck in a crowd of 1 million people. There's no way. Yeah. So I'm hoping, everybody's hoping in the flower business that they rethink, because as it is in the flower business, Monday and Tuesday are going to be extremely busy, and tag, if you're going to send something to somebody or tell your husbands, order before Valentine's, because where I'm at, it's a small business, but they're very successful, but we probably have 250, 350 deliveries on just Valentine's Day.
I believe that.
That doesn't count Monday or Tuesday, and that doesn't count Thursday. We try.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So
when I heard that, the Wednesday part, plus also, no offense, if this is your love kind of day and love lunch and love dinner and love breakfast and love whatever else love you do, that is kind of a I guess you could love going to the Chiefs parade, but even so, I think we could probably spread that out. What would happen if we actually had the parade on a Saturday? And I know people are going, can you imagine how crowded? I appreciate that. But what happens? But what happened? Right. What happens? First of all, you wouldn't have work traffic, but the rest of that story would be, and Kathy Nelson can call me if she wants. But honestly, you start down here. So now you've got like an Overland Park Chiefs parade, and then you move into a something else Chiefs parade and the somewhere else Chiefs parade, and then have the crescendo live streamed. I just think it would be a lot of different communities could get involved instead of one location, Union Station, for heaven's sakes. There's no way we can accommodate gazillions of people again. But what would happen if we stretched it out and made it a real parade?
If they do it on Saturday, all of the school districts are going to be mad because all of the teachers want the day off.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm telling you, yeah.
But no less, it would be great if they won, and if not, they woke up, and it's been exciting. It's always exciting, and we love our Chiefs here in Kansas City for sure.
Oh my gosh, we definitely do. And I have my Patrick wig. I'm going to have to actually go find.
Do you have your headband? I found my headband the other day.
That's what I was going to say. I have a headband with Patrick hair, and we're so similar hair anyway. And that's why I thought I need to resurrect that Patrick hair again, because that was super popular and super fun.
We'll have to do a few little shots of Doc and Queenie wearing our headbands. Bless you. So.
Thank you.
We kind of talked about this, but before we get to our wheels, and you know this, not many people know this, but I've got a lemon tree that I've been trying to keep alive.
Yes.
I've always wanted citrus trees. I had a friend that had a gorgeous Meyer lemon tree, and she got dozens of lemons off of it every year. And all she did was put it in front of her, and when it gets cold, put it in front of her patio door. And it does fine. So this year I thought I'm going to buy one, which I did. Did great in the summer, brought it in, and it dropped all its leaves, and I lost all the lemons. Guess what? I just looked at her today. Her name is Lola.
Of course it is.
And Lola has 2 lemons that are forming from some blooms, and I counted the number of blooms, and this is like overnight. Like yesterday, there weren't any blooms other than the 2 that just are starting to form lemons. I have over 15 blooms ready to burst. So I'm thinking maybe she's just playing me.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. But I definitely know that you've talked about you can't just automatically take an outside plant and pull it in. There's a lot of different nuances that happen within that. And quite frankly, Doc, honestly, now that I watch all your videos on YouTube, I now get traffic of gardening on my channel. And it's so funny because all of a sudden I get this thing, are you ready to make your own raised bed? And are you ready to plant your something? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got the wrong person here. But isn't it a funny thing how the algorithm and the traffic works?
It is. It really, it's an interesting beast.
Yeah.
So I was going to take the lesson of the lemon tree. I thought it was dead.
Good for you, Debbie. Lola the lemon tree. The lesson of Lola.
The lesson.
Lola's lesson.
Lemon tree lesson.
Lola's lesson.
Say that real fast. I was going to take the lesson, and scripturally, life always can come from death, or bad can turn into the good. And I'm like, and how many? Let's flip it to business. How many people just give up and quit? Instead of, like we were talking about, inventing, just reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, punt and pivot, all of those kinds of things. But I was super happy to see out of what I thought was a dead tree, and I'm glad I didn't just let it go and go, oh, it's dead. I mean, I fought bugs when I first brought it in, so it was getting eaten, and then it bloomed, and I had all these tiny little lemons, and then those were falling. Yeah, so never give up. I guess maybe that's the lesson.
That is a perfect point, Deb. Quit right before success happens. We've got an anagic. Someone is pickaxing in a cave, and they're pickaxing and pickaxing and pickaxing, and you see the whole great big cave, and they keep hammering through the dirt and hammering, and the rock, and go. And all of a sudden, right here is their 6A, and you see the 6A line already ready to go. Come on, I can get to 6A, and pick. And then all of a sudden, like an inch before, they go, forget it. I'm never going to make it to 6A. And they stop. And so that is one of the things, like I say, that you quit right before and it is going to happen. You just have to be diligent about it. And I must have, it's just interesting who listens. Today on one of my posting parties that I did earlier this morning, a gentleman from Ireland actually said, Kathy, you've said before you're an overnight success and it only took 16 years. And I was like, how are you listening to this? That I said something like that and you paid attention. I just thought that was actually remarkable.
And that's what I was just going to say, and what I've been doing in my journey too is, and I'm sure you did this, at every little milestone you celebrate.
A million
It's
percent. A million percent.
I was
Well,
talking to
plus,
my husband.
think about this, Doc. You celebrate other people too.
Yes.
All of the folks in our community have been so supportive. When you hit that ginormous YouTube view thing, and all of a sudden we're getting people going, congratulations, that is so cool. And how many views you get and all of that stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But it was very cool to see our community celebrate you. I love that.
Well, and we try to celebrate back. I mean, and that's
heck
an
yeah.
encouragement for whatever's going on with your business. Post it on our page, and we can
absolutely. Heck yeah. It's fabulous to be able to support each other. But that's what this community for me has been all about, because all of a sudden you post to something and everybody's like, oh, I'm in. What are you doing? Let's do it. And it's very, very fun to see.
Well, and then, we always talk about it, but we love it. We just did some guest lives in the past couple of weeks that have been
a blast. Yeah, that was a blast.
Let us edify you that way. And you can take that video and post it so other people can see what your business and who you are. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
Look at this connection thing. Again, I don't know if you know about this, but I love networking.
No, I didn't.
And so here we have Dr. Sabra. I met her several years ago at Fun Fearless Female at Pega's in Lenexa. And all of a sudden, Dr. Sabra, chiropractor, functional medicine, oh my gosh. And so we get to have Dr. Sabra on Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Then we get to have Dr. Sabra's mom on Doc and Queenie Guest Live. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yep. Then we have Jonna Jansen, a realtor who, now Doc, this needs to be revisited. You met Jonna how?
Well, I was at home and the doorbell rang, and she was standing there with her little one in a baby seat, and she was out for a walk, and she was passing out her card, and we became friends. And every once in a while, we go to our local coffee shop and hang out and catch up. Yep.
Absolutely phenomenal. Just because. Here goes the networking. So Jonna Jansen is on our Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Dr. Sabra is on our Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Cami is on our Doc and Queenie Guest Live. You just absolutely never know what's going to happen. And you're now going to be growing herbs for Cami for her scarf designs, her fabric, her art designs. And I just thought, isn't it incredible how this whole networking thing works? I need something to this or a referral to a that, or just like we've got the godmother of ACA on the call, I need to network in person. Oh my gosh. The next thing you know, you connect with Karen and now you're on steroids, literally networking on steroids with Karen's team for ACA. There's so many groups. All of these things work together for the good of the community. I think this is cool.
It's all about helping, it's all about helping humanity. It's helping each other.
Absolutely.
That's how we're designed. So let's help each other and let's spin the wheel and see what our word for
today. You know what? We're having so much fun. I forgot about the wheel.
I almost did.
Yeah, let's do the wheel. Holy moly. All right. We'll start with words just because I'm here. Shuffle 6 times, right between 5 and 7. My number's 5, Doc's number 7. So 6 kind of works for the shuffle thing. You can't get any better than this word today, honestly.
Are we doing grateful or strength?
We're doing grateful. Absolutely.
What are you
grateful? We are doing grateful. Absolutely. The grateful piece for me is, well, first of all, how grateful we are for this community. That's numero uno. But now when prospects turn in perhaps to clients, turn into friends, turn into family, we call it family in one of my other groups. And it really is. It's family. And it is a coined word. Denise Vargas, one of our captains, actually coined it because she means it 1,000,000%. It is family. And all of a sudden, you know somebody's something and your dog something name is this. And it really does turn out to be family. And the gratitude piece is back to how awesome when someone sends you a referral that is in your family, it just means the world to me. And all of a sudden, we've got a new machine lover. And that has been working for 16 years. I love that. What about you, Doc? Besides you're grateful that Lola is blooming. What else are you grateful for?
No, I'm grateful every day I wake up. I am in the habit, and I don't take it lightly, and it keeps me humble of thanking God for everything I have, everything. And I'm learning even through the yucky stuff, yucky, bad stuff, challenging things, to still be grateful and thankful, because there's always a lesson and always a purpose, whether it's good or bad. So
Absolutely. And the lesson piece, I always think, do you learn more when it's a good lesson or a not so good lesson? And you probably might gloss over the good because you think, oh, yeah, good for me. Yay, go fight team. But the bad one, you're going, now, why did this happen? And what did it do? And for me, it's always what am I supposed to learn from this one? And a lot of times the growth piece comes from the not so great lessons, and
yep.
the great lessons we get to add to our list, which is lovely. But a lot of times those don't have the impact that the not so great ones did.
And then sometimes we have to wait to figure out what the lesson was. And sometimes we don't have the lesson. We won't have it until we're in heaven. So yeah. So pretty cool. All right. So we've got another wheel.
You're making me work for my tips today, aren't you?
You know, and then I'm going to make you sing at the end too. So
oh, good. Yeah,
such a good friend.
That should keep everybody on. That should help. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go. Let's see what our topics are. Again, we thank each of you for sending in different topics and things that we can add, because I love that.
No,
Yay.
Fun.
Yeah, this is great. I think about that honestly from a standpoint of the different things that you share with us, and I'm not playing. This is an opportunity for you are having a resurgence of your podcast. You are writing another book. You are your website, just like you said earlier, you were going to design t-shirts regarding your gardening business. All of the different things that you have in mind, plus you resurrected your Lola. And so all of the things that you are doing, what do you think, Doc, keeps you going? Honestly, what moves you forward? What motivates you? And how come forget it and you didn't just give up? Why didn't you quit?
Well, I'm not a quitter. I mean, that's my DNA. I'm not a quitter. But I love my life, you know, and that kind of ties into that grateful. I am excited every single day. I get to do what I love. It's not really a job. You know, I know you can relate with that. And it's just fun to try new things. I'm always trying new things. And even, you know, I don't need the huge crowds or the huge followers. Even if one person learns something or gets a aha moment, then I've been successful. So, and also I believe that, you know, God will bring it to wherever it needs to go. So yeah, so I'm always looking at, I love doing the podcast. I did that through the shutdown, and I feel there's a need for it again. And it's just basically positive and just to get listeners to think. And it's kind of, it's, you know, it's therapeutic for me too. Like, I never thought of it that way. So that's the podcast. The books, actually, one of the books is called Mighty Morning Moment, and it focuses on how we can have a mighty morning moment, what that means. And then I've got a gardening course coming and a couple of other gardening books. So no, I love what I'm doing.
And think about the fact, I know that you mentioned earlier that on one of these shows that you are going to be selling your photos. Your photos are breathtaking. And I mean that because you capture this and you go, did you get that out of a magazine? I am the magazine. And I'm like,
I am.
And I am the magazine. But you see what I mean? Your photos are like magazines quality times a gazillion. And I'm looking at this going, how do you possibly have time for your YouTube, your learning, your TubeBuddy? You teach us a Canva class. You do so many different things. And I just look at that and go, oh my gosh. And so it's the coolest thing in the whole world that you continue doing what you love. And I really do believe that if you love what you do and do what you love, you really don't have a WORK day ever.
Nope. And you're a perfect example of that, Queenie, because you love that. What was it called again? Networking?
That's for sure. I do love networking.
And
for sure.
hey, Queenie, can you go out to lunch today? Well, let me look. Let's see. I have this meeting, this meeting, this meeting.
Oh, we can
Yeah.
get it done. I just can't guarantee what month
Yeah.
right now.
But you love what you do. I mean, that's your
I
DNA
do.
too. And
I do. And speaking of that, this is a not a shameless plug because I appreciate Michelle Cruz and the Coffee Club, but she said something about, didn't we book a posting party for Coffee Club? And I knew that we had, because I'm very specific when somebody requests that I get on the calendar immediately. And it's actually, I believe, March 15th. And the reason I'm bringing that up now is even if, yep, March 15th. And so even if we can't get a luncheon date or a Doc and Queenie guest live or whatever yesterday done tomorrow kind of thing, we promise that we will get you guys on the calendar as soon as all three of us would be able to, or if you've got a business partner, all four of us would be able to be on the chat, on the Zoom. But it's interesting to me, Doc, with all the different plates that you have spinning, bingo, you are just driven every day when you wake up. And I don't think you feel about Mondays like you have.
what am I missing, Queenie?
In the olden days, it would be Monday and you'd be going,
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment because, of course, what is my favorite day of the week and what time?
Friday at 5:00. Even I know that.
Yes. And I basically play all weekend, which, I'm playing with work, but I kind of play all weekend.
You play in the dirt, you play in the computer, you play with the bugs and the heating pads and the lights and all your timers. Yeah.
Yes. Today I was playing with a fan. So you'll see that on YouTube Shorts. I was hoping I was trying to clip. It was a clip fan. I was hoping it wouldn't fall. So that was fun. But no, Mondays are not my favorite, especially when I stayed up too late the night before, because I'm usually hyped up. But it's my own fault.
That's why I was going to say I shuddered to
but
think
what
time the Chiefs game is. I haven't even looked to see what time the Super Bowl is. I just like, oh my gosh, because I'm sure if it's nice and late, we're going to have an interesting Monday.
Yeah. Oh, I will be like, oh.
Hopefully the outcome will be great and we will be shifting on adrenaline.
Yes, I'm sure it will be. But no, my Mondays are getting better. I mean, even like today we lost our power for a while. So I was like, well, I know my computer is charged, so I'll have to use the mobile hotspot if I need the internet, but it came back. So I was happy.
There you go.
And it's that attitude. How many of us, don't let little things get us tripped up. It's a pivot on that too. So, yeah. So any last words of wisdom? Oh, Queen of the Water.
The wisdom for me, honestly, is continue and thank you. We appreciate your support in this community, but continue to interact on the page because that really is how more and more of you find it. Debbie Duvall, I'm thinking in terms of instantly with all the fabulous jewelry pieces that she has. Yes. Karen has all the different events that she gets to go to with ACA, American Club Association. There's so many different chapters now in Kansas City locations. And so you think about that. So please interact on the page because it really, really is how you get to not only make our community better, certainly, but make your network bigger. And I love that. What about you, Doc?
Yes. Maybe we can have everybody take a guess at how big the Chiefs will win on Sunday.
Nice. I like that.
If you're a football fan, I know there are
like
people
that.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll forgive you just one more time, but
I like that. Yeah.
But no, we I'm repeating what Queenie says, but we really love interacting and connecting with everybody, and we get excited about the guest lives, and it's so much fun learning about what everybody does. And there's so many talented people out there, and gifted people. It's just fun. So don't be afraid. We won't bite. We throw softball questions. Let myself or Queenie know that you would like to do a guest live, and we'll get you on. So that's about it. So thank you everyone for joining us today on Doc and Queenie every Monday on Facebook Live, every Monday at We are hopeful next week by this time the Chiefs will be Super Bowl champions, of course, not that we're Chiefs fans or anything, and that they will move the parade to Thursday. You can find Queenie all over social media as Kathy Weaver KC, or KathyWeaverKC.com is her website. Myself is Kitchen Garden Expert all over social media. KitchenGardenExpert.com is my website. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us, whether live or on the replay. Thank you, Queenie, for all you do. And take care, everyone. Have a fantastic week.
Thank you, Doc. Bye for now.
Bye.